You're listening to the world-famous White Roof Radio, Woofcast number 614, recorded January 24th, 2017. Tonight brought to you by CravenSpeed.com, MotoringStripes.com, and OutMotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and style. It's OutMotoring.com.
And we are go for launch.
We are go for podcast. Hey, everybody, it's DB in Arizona, bringing you a brand new episode of the world-famous White Roof Radio. We are here talking about Mini Coopers for you, like we like to do this week. A little bit of a departure from last week's crew. Got the kind of an OG crew tonight. Our good friend Todd Pearson from MotoringStripes.com is with us as always. Todd, say hi.
I am here. Hello.
And the good doctor, the good Reverend, Mr. Chad Miller from DetroitTune.com is here as well. Chad.
Hello, just trying to keep everybody safe out there.
Nice, nice. Sadly, no Alex tonight. He got kidnapped by aliens, and no Gabe tonight either because I don't know. I don't think he can find a sitter.
We're saying that Alex is in hiding because he just doesn't want to get deported. Alex has got 3 strikes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's got.
Alex, because Alex is French. He's afraid he's going to be taxed 35%.
He's got French. He's got religion against him, and he's gay.
Yeah.
He's about to be deported.
Those 3 things for Alex are bad.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Alex, we love you.
I was like, Alex is gay?
He's not gay.
Or better yet, Alex is French?
That's what the funny one is.
Oh heavens. This is going to be a fun night because we've got some interesting things to talk about. We've got some event news, which is pretty exciting. Chad's going to tell us all about the grand opening party at Detroit Tuned. We've got some AMVIV news. You guys might have already seen that, but in case you're living under a rock, we've got some AMVIV news. We've got some interesting stories from the internet. We have some interesting stuff from Motoring File. We have interesting stuff in general. It's going to be a great show. You guys should buckle in and, sit down and get yourself comfortable.
And I got this. I think since the last time we were on, I got to see the Countryman.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We've got Countryman sightings, which I haven't had a chance to see, but everybody else has seen it, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, too. So that sounds pretty rad. Plus, I want to talk a little bit about maybe the touchscreen if we have time. But actually, we might wait for Brian, because Brian's actually played with it.
Yeah, we'll wait for Brian, because I didn't get a chance to play with it on the car that had it. There were so many... oh, my gosh, there were so many people around this. Yeah. I didn't get a big chance for that. But I have another thing to share, which is big when we start talking about that. So
it's big. It's huge.
Huge.
35% huge. Yikes. It's the week in numbers. Last week was 19. This week is 35. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get to all that here in just a minute. Before we do, let's remind you about one of the fine sponsors here underneath the white roof, our friends over at Outmotoring. Outmotoring.com, our good man Aaron, taking care of you guys like he always done. OG sponsor of White Roof Radio and Motoring File, right? You guys know this. He's been one of our sponsors practically since the get-go. If you sign up for the email newsletter, you get a coupon code that'll save you 5% on your order. If you spend more than $195, you're going to get free ground shipping on almost anything. Thousands of new parts every month. Awesome. Plus, he's got some killer deals going on right now. Are you a Grats?
Always hard to pronounce.
Whichever.
Rios.
Well, whichever. If you're a Grats Garage person, he's got some closeouts going on some spray and wax window cleaner, wheel cleaner, stuff like that. 20% off while supplies last. You should go over there and check that out. Very cool stuff. F-Series cold air intake. Very cool. Chrome brake ducts. Very cool. Countryman and Paceman carpet floor mats. So much goodness. And he's practically giving those floor mats away. Just like the dealers are practically giving away Paceman, Aaron's practically giving away Paceman carpeted floor mats. You should go over to outmotoring.com and check it out. Don't forget, too, is if you're one that has that crazy idea, you want to black out your taillights, go over to Outmotoring and get the black LED taillight kit. Don't put tint on your rear taillights, you dumb... I can't say the rest of it.
Only because he's editing.
They only do that in Southern California, don't they?
They do it in Arizona, too.
Oh, my God.
It's the dumbest mod I've ever seen in my entire life. Driving along, it's like, oh, that guy's brake lights are awfully dim. Oh, wait a minute. He tinted his rear taillights. Oh,
you can actually get a ticket for that, too, because there's DOT regulations on you have to be able to see lights on the back of the car from a certain distance.
I think those guys need to be sent to Tent City, man.
And it's subjective for a police officer, but if somebody gets kind of PO'd at you, a cop gets PO'd, they're gonna go, listen, I can't see this from this distance. Here's your ticket.
That's right. They need pink jumpers and a couple nights at Tent City, man.
You were a little bit loud, so I'm going to pull you over and just give you every ticket that I know I can.
Don't be dumbass.
Anyway, all that plus a whole lot more over at Outmotoring, outmotoring.com. Like I already mentioned, don't forget, sign up for the email newsletter. That'll get you that coupon code, save you 5% on anything that you order. Super duper awesome. Again, that's from our friends over at Outmotoring, outmotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and, well, let's just do chrome brake ducts. That's outmotoring.com. Play some of that news music right about now. Because I like the news music. And this is where we start talking about news. I think we should let's start with some entertainment. Let's start first, Chad. How was the open house at Detroit Tuned?
Oh, the open house was actually a success. Everything, we never have enough time to plan every little bit that we want to, but still, like the last minutes, we're figuring out the last little bits of awesome details.
Right.
So we had figured out finger foods. We had a keg of beer on the way.
Nice.
We last second thought, I was like, oh man, we had these awesome cupcakes at the Minis Takes Estates party. We need to get some more of those. So with a 3-day notice, one of our customers were like, hey, can we get 60 cupcakes? And they're like, duh. So she made these awesome cupcakes with our logo on it and this blue and white theme, and they were just delicious. We're still eating the little bit of leftovers right now. So we had that. I mean, overall, I would say we had groups of 15 or so all day long throughout the shop from 11 a.m. until 5. Just kind of people coming and going, vendors and suppliers and friends and family and people that just hadn't seen the place yet. And so that was really good. We got a lot of vendors came by and saw the place. We were really excited about what we were doing there. So, and then we had the Christmas party planned for the mini club, and they all started rolling in, and everybody just kind of ate and drank and socialized. And I must have gave the tour 50, 100 times. It was a lot of walking that day. By the time Sunday morning came around, my lower back was killing me, but it was all worth it. Everybody got to see quite a bit of neat things. We decorated the whole inside with Christmas lights, and we had tables, and the only thing we had to do was rent some chairs. We didn't have enough chairs floating around. So overall, spent money in the right places and had a good time with all of our customers and friends. And 3 of our customers who were homebrewers brought all their homebrew, and that was very tasty too. So we had a lot of variety going on.
Very, very cool.
Can't wait to get back to Detroit and see that. And my guess is that it'll never be for the Detroit Auto Show again.
Because, probably not.
As we know, Mini will probably never be there again after the last couple of years. And unless Mini introduces something that comes out late December and it's the perfect time to introduce it.
Electric scooter.
I seriously doubt it. And I think after this year, Detroit and most auto shows are losing their cachet for car companies, and it's sad for Detroit in general. I mean,
as a man who lives in the area, there were a lot of people that were in town, and you could kind of go anywhere. My local Starbucks, and you could hear people talking about things, and some people were just talking because they can. It's the general stuff, the things you read on Facebook and whatever. And then every now and then you would get bits of conversations. It's like, oh, that guy kind of knows something. He must work for one of these things because his conversation is completely geared differently. And, obviously the auto show here at Detroit has a 20-year contract. So at some point they're like, well, we don't really have to do anything this year because we've got a contract and you have to use our union labor and you have to use this and you have to do that. And we've got you kind of cornered for the next 20 years. So until that 19 years come around, nobody really cares. It's just kind of there. Well, we got this. If you break the contract, well, we get the money anyways.
And I'll say that. Yeah, it's
I'm wondering if all these manufacturers are like, you know what, we don't really need to go spend that money because the auto show's there, but they're not really treating us well, and they're not doing. I wonder if it's Cobo Hall that kind of effed themselves And now everyone's like, you know what? We don't need to go. Thanks. Have a good time.
No, I think it's like everything else in this world right now, and this is a theme we've had for a lot on the show, is technology is what's killed the auto shows. Is that the internet and the ability to get information out very quickly to a ton of people. And that's really what the Detroit Auto Show and things like that and conventions have been for the longest time. And all conventions are dying, not just the Detroit Auto Show. Right. Any type of company convention, there's just not as much of a need for it anymore.
Yeah, except now, you know what conventions are still doing really well, oddly enough? CES is still doing pretty good.
CES is doing good. And
the porn convention.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, because there's certain things that you want to see live. You have to try on shoes. You kind of try on pants. You need to sit in a car, and obviously, you need to see your porn stars. So, I mean, you can't do that always virtually. So,
and you can't get VD remotely. You have to actually be in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Good point. That. All right.
But I think the point of, and it's funny because cars, more than anything, in DB, like you said, CES. Yeah. You really want to kind of see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, get inside it, sit in it, things like that. And so I still think there's a valid point for press events, if you will. But I think car companies are going to hold more things like they've done for us. And Motoring File is invite a small group of people to an event, but they do that 5 or 6 times.
Essentially, they're press junkets.
Yeah, they do a press junket, and they do that 5 or 6 times around the world in different places, so they can cover as much, distance and areas they can, and still get the same kind of coverage, and spend way less money than they would going to a big show like Detroit. I mean, Mini could take that money and spend half that amount of money and put on a few of these around the country or around the world, even, and bring in a couple of dozen journalists and even pay for everything
and get better coverage
and get better coverage and still spend less money.
Exactly.
Well, you also have to realize that automakers are realizing that not everybody's in a market to buy a car or in that market to buy that particular brand. So if you aren't seeing the sales that you should be for your cars and wanting to get that particular product out there and having people sit in it. Because, I mean, people ask me if I went to the auto show this year. I was like, no, because I'm not in the market for a car. I don't, they're like, well, you need to see what's out there. I was like, yeah, but I read various news sites and I see what's going on. I don't necessarily have to go. And there's nothing that's like, wow, that's really exciting. I need to totally go see that because I'd be just as happy with a 10-year-old car that, I have 4 of than I would be with the new whatever that's out there. So, there has to be something really cool.
Nothing makes me want to smack people upside the back of the head more than people, and they're getting rarer and rarer. But people who do their car shopping by like Consumer Reports, is they do they do all the research on the internet and they go, this is definitely the car I want. I'm going to go buy this car. Not even going to drive it. And I just want to go, you're a moron.
Yes.
Yep.
You need to go drive the car, and that's what we're telling you here. And we want you to listen to White Roof Radio and form opinions over, because we all get to drive these cars and play with them and touch them and everything more than most people. And we form opinions, and you listen to us, and you either trust us or you don't.
Right.
And I respect that. But we're all telling you, here's what you have to do. You need to go drive these cars.
Yes.
You need to go drive a Mini. You need to go drive whatever else you're looking at.
An Acura NSX, a new Audi R8.
Yeah.
And
it was kind of interesting. While White Roof Radio is predominantly Mini, we also talk about a lot of other brands, and we are more of a car culture show.
Yeah.
As we get older here, and we were talking about the exact same thing with our Mini Club. A majority of our members, while have Minis, there's a good handful of them that are still in the club that enjoy doing the things that we do, but don't have Minis and haven't had Minis for a long time because of whatever circumstance. So, we have to realize that while Right Roof Radio is a mini show, we are so much broader because the things we're talking about affect every single manufacturer. So.
And I guarantee we have a lot of listeners who don't.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's move on just a little bit. We have some more event news. Those of you who are not paying attention, either not on Facebook or wherever, we actually finally, we have dates for a mini vacation in Vegas for 2017. So last year was Southwest Mini Fest. That's the Arizona version of AMVIV. This year, it's back to Vegas. AMVIV 2017 happening this coming May 18 through the 21st. There's no other information at this moment in time, but the minute any information is available, you guys will know about it.
Yes.
And Todd's already booked his flight.
I have. Is this AMVIV 13? What number is
Well,
this?
it's hard to tell because the last...
45.
No, it would be AMVIV 13.
I think it's going to be 13.
10.
And we've done every other year
12.
for a couple of years, but then we had one last year and we're having one this year.
No, last year was Southwest Mini Fest. Before that was AMVIV. And then the AMVIV was 10. That was AMVIV 10. The last one at... Who's he was?
This is blowing my mind. At Silverton, we didn't do that the past year.
No. That was last year was Southwest Mini Fest. So that was
my mind's
2016,
blown.
2015. 2015 was AMVIV. I don't remember if that was AMVIV 10 or AMVIV 11. That was AMVIV 2015, and then before that, 2014 was Southwest Mini Fest, and then 2013 was AMVIV.
So there you go. It's going to be in
May 18th through the 21st.
May 18th through 21st, happening in beautiful Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, America's Playground.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
listen to us for details. Look at Facebook.
I'm hoping for the Silverton again. Is that weird?
I like.
I thought the Silverton was a great venue for AMVIV.
I am, but I'm open to anything in Vegas. I love the city.
But I enjoyed the Silverton. I thought it was a perfect venue for us.
It was really good.
So I'm hoping we go back. Anyway, mark your calendars. Request a time off. Do the things you have to do. May 18th through 21st. Boom. That's all I had for events. We can move on now. We can move on and we can talk about...
Let's talk about the Countryman because I saw that and it's fresh in my mind.
Let's talk about the Countryman because Todd saw that and it's fresh in his mind.
Yeah, we had, and this has been going on around dealers. Like they take a Countryman to the dealer and they have an event, and it's funny because they all have the exact same displays. They put out this big
carpet,
wool blanket carpet thing, and there's fires, and it's a very outdoorsy type theme, if you will. They really want this car to be perceived as the rugged outdoor, all-wheel drive kind of sport activity vehicle, which is the term that BMW uses.
Right.
So anyway, I go to the event. It's been about a little more than a week ago now, and I have to say, I loved this car. This is the Mini, the one Mini I've seen of modern Minis.
Yeah.
That there's only two other times when I loved the cars when I saw them. It was the original Mini,
yep.
The R15, R53. I liked everything about the car and immediately wanted to buy one. The next car that happened with, and I include the GP in that, okay? So the next car that ever happened with was the Roadster. And we drove the Roadster on Mini Takes the States. What was that, 2012?
Yep.
I fell in love with that car, and I'm like, I love this car. Now I own one. And this is the next car that Mini's come out with that I went, I think I like everything about this.
Wow.
There's very little I can pick apart for this car. And little nitpicky things, like in person, you see it like, and a lot of people suggested this, the roof rails are enormous.
Okay.
They don't really need to be that big. They kind of stick out. And everybody's like, can you get it without those roof rails? And they're like, no, that's the only way it comes. So that's a little, but it didn't bother me that much. Not much else. I mean, getting in and out of the back seat of this car was comfortable, and there was, like, I'm sitting in the back seat, and the front seat is put back most of the way,
okay.
And I still had 2 or 3 inches between my knee and the back seat of the back of the front seat.
Wow, that's impressive.
It was, and I'm not a little guy, and it was comfortable. How did it
look in person? How did the front end specifically look in person, Todd?
I actually liked it. The one I got to see had the outdoor, the rugged pack. I don't know what they're calling it.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Study up. The big black bumper and all those things. It actually looked pretty good. The car was very square, though.
Yes.
Well, I noticed from a design standpoint is we've gotten rid of a lot of, we talked about it when we saw the pictures. The roundness is gone to the fenders.
Okay.
They kind of come up and square off now, and everything has gotten kind of squared, and chunky is the word I keep hearing people say over and over again. The car's just gotten kind of chunky.
Okay.
But that was the intent of the designers, is they want to make this car look rugged and masculine.
Right.
Really trying to get away from the rounded, effeminate look, and I'm using words that Mini uses. These are not mine, not judgment words here. And I want the women's movement to get pissed off at me.
Then they're going to march all over your shit, dude.
It's okay if they do, but that's not what I mean here.
I know.
But I think the car looks more rugged and outdoorsy, the intent. But they really pull it off in person.
Okay.
The car looks decent with 18-inch wheels. It's going to look great with 19-inch wheels, too.
Nice.
The picnic bench in the back that flops out is
brilliant.
The design of that is freaking amazing.
Nice.
Gabe was right. Until you see this thing in action, you don't believe how cool it is. It really is.
Very cool.
But the one thing about it, and this is a little plug for myself, is you are definitely, if you get that little picnic bench on the back, you're going to need a bumper protection strip because it flops right on the painted bumper and it scuffs it up in about 3 seconds.
Oh, see, there you go.
So I will be coming out with that almost
over at motoringstripes.com very soon.
But anyway, I really like the car. Here's the one thing, and I told you guys this in the comments, and Gabe didn't even notice this when he saw it in LA. The directional signals have gone back to a physical stock, and that means when you push the directional signal to go, it clicks down and it stays down, or it clicks up and it stays up. It's no longer electronic. It's actually.
That's awesome.
You know, like DB, and all of us, Chad, you've got it in your R53.
Yep, I prefer it that way.
The original R50 and R53 from 2002 to 2007 and the 2008 convertibles all had a physical stock that clicked down.
You clicked down and it stayed down until you turned or something, and you had to lift it back up to turn it off. Not like the digital one that they introduced with the R56 and all the BMWs, where you just kind of push it down and it stays on, but it returns to the center position. And then varying varying levels of force turn it back on or off.
So they've gone to this, and I'm told pretty confidently that this is going to be part of the LCI, and if not part of the LCI, it's definitely going to trickle down to everything eventually.
That'll be nice.
I think it's just logistics there. We kind of thought we were going to see it.
That's what's been holding me back on getting an F56, if I'm honest. That's why I haven't bought an F56, is because of turn signal stock.
It's
right.
It's so funny. I got used to it because, you know, for the longest time I had 1 foot in each world. Right. You know, I had the P, and then I drove an R56 for a little while, and then an F56.
Right, but you still have the R53.
And then now back to the Roadster.
Right.
Yeah, I did like the fact that you could just hit it once and it would just flash 3 times and you didn't have to do anything. Right. But it still always kind of felt awkward. Yeah. You never like, did I turn it on? Is it on? Yeah, I can see it flicking, but
the hard part for me, Chad,
you don't have that physical feel anymore.
Is when I go to turn it off and it triggers in the opposite direction.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I still do that. I still do that like once a week.
Right. That is the most difficult thing when you accidentally turn it on. You don't mean to. Right. How do you turn it off? Because you're like, oh, click up. No, that doesn't do it. You got to click down again, and you go, I'm so confused.
I get really confused. Anyway, that'll be nice to bring back the 1972 style of turn signaling.
Yep. Hey, sometimes if it's not broken, you don't fix it. You know, put a key in the ignition switch.
You know,
I will say this also. I was told by some.
Don't even start going with keys. What are we, animals? A key in the ignition switch? Come on.
The turn stock was one of the top requested items from the consumer surveys.
You know, next time I get a consumer survey, you know what I'm going to ask for? Yeah. I'm going to ask for the bright switch on my foot as a foot pedal. I want the button on the floorboard.
You know
again,
what? That was a good.
Maybe like half of our listeners.
It worked well.
That was the best thing ever. Chad still has a car that has that.
Still got a car that has that.
That's right.
But you know, the interesting thing is a man who does a lot of service for a lot of people. We get a lot of people that are like, hey, this key is doing this or this is that, or, you know, it's like, well, you got to buy a new key. Well, what do you mean? And it's $150 key. It's like, you know what? You need to make the keys a little bit less expensive, regardless of whether you actually put it into something on the stock. I understand why you wouldn't want to, but you have to have the key on you. I mean, regardless of what car, the F cars don't have a place to put it at all. Right. You still have to have a key on you to start the car. That key lives in your pocket. You're going to go through those keys super fast. It's like cell phones. Yeah. How many cell phones do you go through because it lives in your pocket? It's always getting beat up or banged or lint in it or, you know, accidentally thrown through the wash or whatever. and those keys are very expensive, and then they're like, oh man, I need another key, and I only have one key to my car. Or, it's a resale value thing. It's a, I can't find my other key, or it doesn't work anymore, and then there's no way to replace the battery in them. There's a lot of issues with the key itself that could be refined very easily if they just did it.
Eventually we're going to be able to start our cars with our phones. I mean,
oh yeah, totally.
I
can control everything in my house by my phone. I mean, lights and furnace and my, alarm system, cameras, whatever. I mean, you could see it all on your phone. I mean, that some of that is really good, but it works well.
Right. Here's the other thing too, a little tidbit for people who own F56. Your batteries in the keys are replaced under maintenance every second oil change. Wow. So you're going to get at least one free set of batteries.
Huh.
Yep.
In your key fobs?
Yeah, in the key fobs, they change the battery every second oil change because the old cars, the R56, when you put them in the dash, DB, like your car.
Yeah, it charges in the dash. Yeah. Same like the R50 and the R53.
Exactly, it charges in the dash. Now that you have the key that doesn't go anywhere, there's no way for it to charge, so the battery, runs down. And part of the maintenance is every second oil change that you do, they actually
on both keys or just one.
I asked him this question at my dealer, and they go, you know what? Bring both keys in, and we'll change them both. Because I said,
as well as, are they actually doing it?
Yeah. No, they are. I mean, they keep them there in stock, and it's part of the maintenance program. So be sure on your second oil change, and I don't mean the second one that you pay for, because I do interim oil changes myself. It's the second scheduled one on the clock.
I'm going to do that on my lady friend's BMW.
That.
Because I'm going to almost.
Here's another question for you and your dealer, Todd. Is some of these cars are not having maintenance programs anymore?
Yeah, the new cars. I have the last year Mini that had a full 3-year maintenance, maintenance program that was covered on. So if you have anything beyond 2016, no, they're going to say you need this done, but you have to pay for it.
Right. So it'll be a battery that you have to pay for, which theoretically should be
it's going to book out for an hour too, Chad. Watch.
$6 battery with a 15-minute, switch time, unless you need to have a special BMW key backing release tool.
So it's going to be like $75.
Yeah, so it'll be $75. So, but that's kind of an interesting concept that well, we give you this key now, but we can't charge it at all because, here's where the aftermarket comes in with the key charging docking station that you can keep on your desk for you at work,
Yes. The march of technology, my friend. It's the march of technology.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not trying to fight it. I'm not. But, the R56 style puck keys, some of those you could replace the battery. I think it was the Comfort Access cars. And some of them you couldn't.
Because the Comfort Access cars, you didn't have to put it in the ignition, so therefore it didn't charge. This was something that started, DB, with your generation car, if you had Comfort Access, because our previous R56 had that. And my lady friend always kept the key in her purse, never got it out, never had to.
Right.
And so we never had an issue. The car from 2010 to, 2014, in 4 years, never had to replace the batteries. It was fine. Yeah. But you think about it conceptually, that battery's never getting charged because it's never getting put in the dash at all. Yeah. And so it's like the new ones. And I think it's probably a little extreme and precautionary that they're changing the battery every second oil change, which probably means every 2 years.
Yeah.
They're kind of hedging their bets. It's a watch battery. It's not hard, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's a super simple battery. I'm sure it's going to be an easy replacement and that type of thing. But it is kind of interesting, even with the Gen 2 keys. Some of those had battery covers, some of them didn't. Why not just make all the keys exactly the same with a replaceable battery, regardless of whether it's charged or not?
Yeah.
Well, it's a different kind of battery. The rechargeable battery is different than the non-rechargeable battery. That's why.
Maybe.
Lithium-ion versus regular battery, nickel, whatever they are. And for those of you wondering why we're going on and on about this, I currently am switching between a car that I have to put the key in the dash versus a car that the key lives in my pocket. And honestly, I cannot be bothered to take the key out of my pocket to start my Mini anymore. It's so annoying.
I know, DB. I'm the same way because our Roadster is like...
I have to pull my key out of the pocket to unlock my door, to open the boot, to lock my door.
Pain in the ass.
And I never thought I'd be that guy, but you know what? Comfort Access is kind of rad.
It's genius. And you know what? It's standard on the new Countryman.
I know, which is really nice. Anyway, that's why we're going on and on about comfort access.
And I got to tell you, this is the first probably 6 months we had the Roadster. Every time I'd go to shut the car off, because I'm so used to the F56 now, I'd reach down and I ended up locking the doors because you hit the center
button, yeah,
where the start stop is on my JCW, and it's like, no, they didn't turn the car off. All I did was lock the doors.
Yikes! Nice.
So, it's funny transferring back and forth, and DB, you're getting experience that.
Oh,
so.
It's not like annoying. It's not like it throws me off or anything. But every now and again, I catch myself standing next to my Mini, going, "How come why is my door not unlocked when I reach in to grab the handle?" Crazy. I know.
But anyway, I like that. I think my overall, just the short version of it is, I really like the new Countryman. I do think it's going to sell well, especially in the Cooper all-4 guys, because it's really going to be competitive with things like
you know what? I know we're saying that now, but we need to put a pin in that, because if I know it's got turbo and it's got more power than the last Cooper Countryman did, but the last Cooper Countryman was a dog.
But here's the thing. I'm saying, if you're comparing this to, if you're going to buy a Honda CR-V or a Mazda CX-5, okay, either one of those cars,
or the Toyota RAV4, include that one too.
Exactly, a Toyota RAV4, and which are all competitively priced. Right. And you come into the Mini dealer and you're like, okay, this is the kind of car I'm looking at. If I were the salesperson, I would say, listen, here's what you need. The Cooper all-4. Here's the equipment. You're going to put the tech package on it. You're going to get everything you get on all those other cars.
Right.
Or virtually the exact same price.
Right.
Okay.
And then you're going to pay me another $300 and you're going to drive around back and have the guys put the Dyna tune on it.
Exactly. The drivability is going to be very similar. And for, like I said, for $300, you put the Dyna tune on it, and you can bump the horsepower up and the torque up. Yeah. And it's going to be a much more fun car.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still a little skeptical, because I remember the Countryman Cooper, and I just remember what a poor driving experience that car was, especially with an automatic transmission.
That's true, and I may be completely wrong. The car may be so big and sloppy with the 130 horsepower
and the all-4, the extra weight. I don't know. I'd rather wait and hold off and let's actually drive it and go, holy crap, and be pleasantly surprised, as opposed to being completely disappointed.
We're drivers, people, though. We want to know the way the car drives is most important to us.
Yeah.
And sadly, I'm afraid most of the customers buying cars today are not as impressed by this. No. Now, that being said, once they get in a Mini and drive it, they're like, holy crap, this is fun. I didn't know driving could be so much fun.
Right.
Which is why everybody I tell who's looking at cars, it's like, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just please, for the love of God, go to the dealer, get in the car, and just drive it. Yeah, then we'll talk.
Yeah, just remember, here we're preaching to the choir, though.
And but you know what happens? Everybody goes and they end up buying a Mini.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's why I tell people. I said, don't. I always tell people not to test drive a Mini. Don't test drive it. And they go, what? What do you mean, don't test drive it? I go, don't test drive it. And they go, why not? So you're going to buy one.
You're going to buy it.
Yep.
And they go, and then they laugh, and then I know that like 3 days later they can't stop thinking about it, and they go and they buy one. And do I get any kind of commission for that? Do I get any kind of kickback? Do any of us get any kind of kickback or commission for that?
Never.
Not once. There should be like some kind of a referral.
Maybe they'll buy us
system.
some drinks at AMVIV or something.
You know, that's what Mini really needs. I think that's what they need to do to stop killing the brand, stop ruining the brand. Is we need like a referral system.
You know what, dealers, I say this in all honesty too, a lot of dealers do have an official, you just have to ask for it and go, listen, hey, what do I get if I refer somebody? And a lot of sales managers will give you their business cards and go, here, put your name on the back of it and give it to your friends, and if they come in, we'll send you a check for $50 or $25 or whatever it is.
A little bit of a finder's fee.
Yeah, a lot of places will really do that. But you know what, when you love Minis so much, you really don't care. You just want all your friends to be happy.
Yeah, that's all we want.
That's all we want. We just want everybody to be happy.
Great. And then we read the Washington Post. or Twitter.
The fit hits the shan.
Yes. So you guys have heard about this, and I tried to get Todd to not talk about it, and he just wasn't having it, so we're going to talk about it. So you guys know we have a new president here in the United States, President Trump, officially president, and he's threatening automakers, all the automakers on the planet across the globe. He is threatening to charge each and every one of them a 35% tariff on any car that is shipped into the United States to be sold in the United States. He's going to tax them 35% on any car that comes into the United States that wasn't built here to be sold here.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Well, that means Mini needs to build a plant.
Yeah.
Done.
So the funny thing is the very first people to be attacked by at that time President-elect Trump were Ford and Chevrolet, of course, and Chevy particularly about the what is it which Chevy? It's that stupid hatchback that they sell like 10 of a year in the United States. The Cruise hatch that they build in Mexico. It's the only car that they build in Mexico that gets sold in the United States because they only sell like 10 of them a year in the United States or something, right?
The Malibu?
No, the Cruise hatch, which is a really cool looking car. But they don't sell here because it's a hatchback, and Americans don't like hatchbacks for some reason. No, at least not the Cruise hatchback, which I think is kind of a good-looking car. Doesn't sell here. Sells all over the planet. So my mom, she's all, oh, yeah, but Chevy, blah, blah, blah. And I go, did you even read about this? Oh, sorry. I got derailed there. I had a little thing. A moment. I'm done. Todd, please continue.
So anyway, and this comes from a German newspaper article. Did an interview with the current president of the U.S. or is it the current president of Russia? I can't keep him straight. Trump.
Anyway,
so they did an interview that was facetious with Trump, and he drops this bomb. He says, "Hey, for every car that comes to the U.S., you're going to pay a 35% tax," and it was targeted to BMW, Mercedes specifically, Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche.
Right.
Okay, and basically, BMW came back, and there was a public statement from Peter Bauer.
Yes, him.
Name wrong every time I try and pronounce it. The head of BMW altogether, and said, "We're going to build a plant in Mexico. We're spending $1 billion. We're still going to build a plant in Mexico. It's going to make 3 series, and they're going to be sold in the U.S." So he basically is not backing down. Now, all this being said, this is pretty extreme. This was an off-the-cuff remark from Donald Trump. We all know that those can be taken with a grain of NaCl, if you will.
Correct.
That's salt for the chemistry nerds out there. That it's probably not going to happen because it would ruin the economy of many places. It would put tons of people out of business. It would put all of us out of business.
Yes.
Because people would go, I'm not going to, like, this Mini that I'm looking at, this $26,000 is all of a sudden $34,000.
All of a sudden, this Kia Soul that I've been looking at is, instead of it being $16,000, is now a $30,000 car.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. So that's probably not going to happen. However, it's been threatened. And I have to say this. There's a whole bunch of shit that I didn't think was going to happen in the last year that's happened.
Right.
So I can't rule it out, and neither can automakers. And this has been a big story on everything from Jalopnik to Washington Post,
right,
to everything. Okay, so a lot of people clamped onto this, and it even caused,
like it or not, automobile manufacturing is one of the largest industries on the planet.
But here's the cap.
More money is made, more people are employed in the automobile industry globally than many other industries combined.
And here's the saving grace for BMW. Even if this were to happen, and I'm not saying it's going to, but even if this tariff were to happen, there's going to be a tax credit for companies that export cars out of the U.S. So let's say there's a lot of companies like Toyota and Honda. They make cars in the U.S.
And even BMW at Spartanburg.
But see, here's the thing that I'm going to say right now is going to blow everybody's mind. BMW is the #1 U.S. auto manufacturer who They export more cars, more BMWs, than any other manufacturer in the U.S.
Well, that's because all the other...
Chevy, everyone.
Really?
Yes, it is. And
that's because everybody else builds their cars in the country instead of exporting them there.
Well, and American cars are really sold here in the U.S. and they're not sold everywhere else.
That's not true but Ford has plants in England and somewhere else in Europe. And so
they do, but what I'm saying is
GM, but GM does it as a Seat or Vauxhall.
Yeah, exactly. They're built there. They're not shipped out. So the #1 exporter of cars built in America is BMW. And if you doubt me, just do a quick Google search of the #1 car. There's tons of articles out there, and it has been since 2014, BMW is the number one exporter. And so I think with that, there's some clout to go, listen, we build cars in America and we send them overseas. So in so many words, kiss our ass.
Right.
You know, that's what BMW is going to say. And let's hope that Mini is kind of sheltered under that, because Mini is 100%. If you look on the Monroney sticker, in fact, I have one sitting right here in front of me. The percentages, it says major source of foreign parts content are Germany, the UK. Only 5% of it comes from the US and Canada.
Right.
Okay. Final assembly point, of course, is Oxford in the UK.
Right.
So the engine comes from Germany, transmission comes from Germany, and I'm reading that right off the Monroney sticker of my 2016 JCW right now.
Correct.
So anyway, that's point number one.
If there's a 35% tax on any car built outside the United States, brought in the United States, that would just be a global catastrophe.
It really would. It would be a catastrophe if you would. And
it would be an epidemic of epidemic proportions.
Yeah, it'd put 18 million people out of work. It's insane. It would be instantaneous. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's not going to happen.
Right.
Here's the thing that probably might happen. And that is there's a proposal now that's headed to Congress about a border adjustment tax.
Right.
And what that's going to say is, and I'll use the basic example from this, is let's consider Walmart.
And this wouldn't just be for cars. This would be for any product.
This would be for anything, but I'm going to apply it to cars here in a minute. So let's just say Walmart right now buys a shirt from Taiwan. It's made in Taiwan, and they pay $10 for the shirt, and they sell it at Walmart for $13. Right now, they're only taxed on the profit. So they're only taxed on $3 corporate tax.
They're not taxed on the original purchase price of the shirt.
They're just taxed on the profit in the U.S. And so what the proposal is they want to adjust that and be charged on the full $13. So that's basically almost four times the amount. Okay, or actually more than four times the amount. So more than 400% tax increase on the product. Okay. That's not a really big deal. Like I said, when you go to, let's say you're going to go buy your shirt at Walmart or Kohl's or Sears or wherever, and it's made in Taiwan, it's going to be an extra $1.50. Yeah. We can absorb, most average people can
absorb. Big deal. I'm good on an extra $1.
What's not going to fly is when the price of your car increases by 15% because of this. And this is a very real possibility, and this is a very real possibility that impacts us directly who deal with minis every day, because the cars are, built in England, completely imported. They could go up as much as 15% retail price. That's huge. There's a lot of people who couldn't afford it. You think minis are expensive now? Wait till they go up 15%, which is, maybe $5,000. It's insane to think about. Here's the second thing when you're like, okay, well, that's bad for people buying new cars. What about parts? Parts are going to get more expensive. They're going to go up by 15 to 20%. And you think, well, I don't buy that many parts for my car. Here's where it hits all of us.
Right.
Your insurance is going to go up because the cars are going to be more expensive. Everyone's insurance is going to go up. And I'm going to tell you right now, I just got a letter from my insurance company. I currently have Safeco, big insurance company in the U.S., and we just got a letter for our 2013 Roadster that our insurance went up 16%.
Yikes.
Because the car parts have gotten more expensive and they're more expensive to repair. We got a letter that said specifically that's why your insurance is going up 16%. And so my point is that if parts prices literally go up across the board, imported car parts, everybody's insurance is going to go up a lot because insurance companies aren't going to eat that.
No.
We're all going to eat that.
Yeah.
So this is not good. It's very, very not good for those of us auto enthusiasts. You're going to start reading more about this on major sites like Jalopnik, the New York Times. They've got to start covering this because it's going to be bad.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be really bad.
I'm saying that right now. None of us wants to pay more for insurance because of this.
No.
And the other side, I'm going to say, people trying to push this through, they're like, listen, we need to bring more jobs to America. We need to buy American products, yada, yada, yada. I get that, but there's got to be a happy medium that is not, you're going to destroy all of our, livelihoods because of this. Think about all the people who work in parts, sales, and everything that are going to be hurt by this.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. And I try not to make a political statement here on White Roof Radio, but I'm just saying it's starting to mess with us legitimately and go, is this the right thing to do? I don't know. I can't answer that right now.
Yeah. We'll have to pretty much sit back and wait and see what happens.
Yep. But we're going to keep an eye on this and see what turns out. I'm hopeful that the smart people in the room, God help us, that's Congress, will
oh, crap.
But here's how if this gets to the point, we will try and keep people posted.
Yep.
The way to change this is to call your representatives to Congress. Like, don't send an email. Literally, get the phone numbers and call them and go, I don't think this is right. This is going to affect me. I thought things were going to get better. I thought everything was going to get cheaper.
Yeah.
Or in March, we're going to have the Million Man Automobile Enthusiast Club March.
You're going to have a lot of pissed off auto enthusiasts.
And women are welcome to come.
Speaking of, if you guys want some funny in this mix of madness, is you need to check out the Man March hashtag on Twitter. OMG. That's all
I know, that's pretty funny. It's very funny.
Really funny stuff. And if you don't have a sense of humor, then honestly, please don't check out the Man March hashtag on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a break. Let me tell you guys about another sponsor really quick, and then we've got a little bit more news I want to talk about before we carry on and finish up. Well, but before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about our friends over at Craven Speed. You guys mind if we did that really quick?
Yeah, I think it's great.
That'd be awesome. CravenSpeed.com. Cool stuff for your Mini. Other cars, too, of course. I know some of you guys don't have Minis anymore. Some of you maybe have moved on to, who knows, Fords, Mercedes, whatever. Go check Craven Speed. They're making stuff for a lot of different brands. Let's stick to Mini, though. Like the stubby antenna. Done. The platypus license plate mount. Alex loves his. And if you live in a state, one of the communist states where you actually have to have a license plate on the front of your car, you need to get this mount. That way you don't have to drill holes in your bumper. It improves resale value. Just saying. If you have a first-gen Mini, you still rocking the R53 Mini Cooper S, and you want to make it faster, you're going to put a pulley in it. Done. Go to Craven Speed. They got the pulley you're going to install. Easy peasy. Go over there, check it out. Plus a whole bunch of other things. F56 intake. What else is the cool thing? Platypus slice, stubby antenna. Flex pod adapter for your phone, especially you Californians who can't even touch your phone while you're driving anymore. Flex pod adapter keeps it up in your face so you can actually see it. It's pretty. It's easy to install. Works really nice. It even holds the giant phones like the iPhone 6 and 7S Pluses, the big phones. That's what I have in my car. It works great. Go over there, check all that out, and so much more over at cravenspeed.com. And if you do go place an order at cravenspeed.com, please take a moment. There's a comment section there. I want you to make sure you say, thanks for supporting White Roof Radio. They, of course, also one of the other OG sponsors here underneath the White Roof. We really appreciate when you say thanks. And so do they. They, of course, being our friends over at cravenspeed.com. Go check them out, please.
You know, DB, I'm going to follow up on what you said. Like in California, you can't even touch your phone. And many states like that. Texas is like that also.
Yeah, that's brand new for California for 2017. You can't even touch your phone while you're driving now, from what I understand.
You can't. Basically, it's like you can't have your phone in your hand or you can't be touching it.
Correct.
So here's my question. I have not used CarPlay in a car, DB. You have.
Yes.
Let's say you've got CarPlay and it's on the dash. Or let's say, are they going to outlaw that you can't change the radio station by reaching up to the dash? Or you can't change your heat and air conditioning settings by reaching up to the dash to do that? Because, for example, I'm assuming CarPlay is your phone. Everything's in the dash then. You can touch and still control everything.
Well, so here's the thing. So here's the thing with CarPlay is you can do it all by voice.
Yeah. Which is less distracting, I guess.
I guess.
You know, it's interesting because we've had a Nissan Rogue in our household for the last 4 or 5 months. It's not horrible.
Okay.
And
it's on in all of December, by the way.
Yeah, and it's got a touchscreen. It's got the backup cameras. It's got all the bells and whistles. You can do whatever you want to the radio. You can get all your XM stations. You can touch the screen to do whatever you want on that. But you can't input anything in the nav unless you're not moving.
Oh, that's any car with the built-in nav, though.
Right. You have to use voice command.
You have to use voice command. Or you have to
I don't know if this one has it. It might or might not. We haven't gotten that far into it because we're about to get the 2017 because the 2016s too old. But it's kind of an interesting, watching it. It's like, wow, the passenger can't do that. You can't hit a button that says the passenger is doing this or whatever. It just literally locks you out. But the radio, you can do whatever. You can scroll the stations. You can punch in whatever buttons you got to. It's really kind of hit or miss in what you can actually do while you're driving. And, that kind of continues on down into like phone conversations and stuff like that. And, around here, it's city to city or township to township or counties, or even it's not even just the whole state.
My point is that I think the laws that are there are very good. I don't think you should be messing with your phone while you're driving. Don't get me wrong, but I do think they're going to have to adapt the laws a little bit because their technology is changing so quickly. And I'm going to segue to the example of something that's available on the minis now, and that's the remote start.
Right.
I think we talked about. I don't know if we did talk about this on the show, but remote start is now a retrofit option for your Mini if you have an automatic.
Right.
Okay.
Automatic F56.
Yeah, it's really expensive. You're going to end up spending $1,500 to $2,000 to put this on your car. And on top of that, I know many municipalities. I live in one here.
Where you're not allowed to actually let your car run in the driveway.
It is illegal. If your car is running in your driveway and you are not in it, and the police drive by, they will write you a ticket, and it's at least $100, if not $150.
Yeah,
somebody just got a ticket here in a neighboring city the other day. They got a ticket for their car running in the driveway, and it was only a couple of minutes. But literally, it was frigid temperatures here, and he got a ticket for allowing his car to run in the driveway with the keys in it because of
that's ridiculous.
Quote,
that's private
theft.
Property.
It's well, you say that, but here's the
people just jump in and take it.
Right, it's easy for people to just even break the window out and drive the car.
Right.
Now, why I'm saying that the law needs to change is because the way the Mini remote start works and the BMW one is they install it, and I'm not even going to go into it. We're going to have to save this for a different show because it's pretty absurd. And it involves gluing a key to the inside of the car, by the way. You think I'm kidding. That is literally what they have to do.
You have to glue a fob like under the dash?
Well,
that would be like a Mini approved super glue.
They put it in a locked box somewhere in the dash. It's buried deep in the dash, but that's how the car will start. But the point is, let me get onto the reality of this. It's, you can make their car remote start and it'll run for up to 20 minutes. But as soon as you open the door, the car shuts itself off and you have to have a real key to drive the car. So what I'm saying is the reason for this law is now outdated because technology has gone beyond the law and said, no one can steal this car. Yes, it's running in my driveway, so technically it's breaking the law. But the reason for the law, the spirit of the law, is that we're trying to keep cars from being stolen. Well, you can't drive this car because it's got remote start. So what I'm saying is that laws like that, because of technology, are going to have to change because you could challenge that. It's going to have to go to a court to challenge.
Yeah,
you can't say I can't do this because the reason you say I can't do it isn't possible. Because
it'll take a year and a half or something like that to change, though.
It was going to take 5 to 10 years.
It really can because there's things as I was figuring out the purchase of this building. I was like, that's a law, like really, like
some of it is EPN come and check the soil. What are you talking?
Well, there is that. Because you never know who's going to dump down what, but. I was reading laws about like you're not allowed to have any type of barnyard animals anywhere near the property except one chicken. You can have one chicken. That's it.
Awesome.
But
the chicken.
Yeah, getting the shop chicken. But
Detroit branded eggs.
But it's very interesting to read. If people really wanted to make change, no matter to get back to the whole political thing, if you really wanted to make change, you make those changes at your local level.
Right.
And it will filter up to your big level, very quickly. So that's where you need to make the changes.
Right. Here's the problem is they're not going to be able to tell if a car is running in a driveway, whether it's got this system, this technology, or it's an old school, a 1990 whatever, that somebody can just walk up to, jimmy the door and get in and steal it. So.
Well, I think the current way is the police will go up, and if you open the door, it's supposed to shut off, or you try to put it in drive, it shuts off. Right. If it doesn't shut off, then you get a ticket type of thing. I think that's their litmus test for that.
I really don't know how other brand cars handle this, but I know this is the way Mini and BMW handle it. One, I think is a ridiculous thing anyway. Just get in your car. You're going to be cold for a few minutes.
Right.
I mean, I get it.
Or
But,
put it in your garage.
But I don't get it.
Put it in your garage. You could always do that.
All right, segue to this. Here's something that we also need to touch on. This was a news story that I think is very important. Is a lot of people were losing their minds.
What's that?
That the manual transmission was not going to be available on the Cooper S Countryman.
We talked about that last week, and I posted that. I actually asked Twitter. I asked Mini USA on Twitter, and they replied, and I think I retweeted the reply, and that's just a temporary thing.
Yes, it's just for the beginning. It's coming. Just relax.
Just relax. It's coming.
Well, we just want to confirm to everybody.
It's a supply issue.
Exactly.
That's
it will be there. Don't freak out. You're just going to have to wait. Which is good because if you
have to wait very long, from what I understand, it's like going to be a month or two.
Yeah, but you know what? If you wait till June, you can get CarPlay.
See? And you get a manual transmission. So what's your problem?
Exactly.
Honestly, people. One more. Todd, you got this one. Head of BMW design is leaving?
Oh, yeah. Kareem Habib is he's the head of BMW design.
Right.
Like all BMW design. Now, not the head of the whole design group, which is Adrian von Huydonk, but the head of BMW.
I'm sorry.
No,
it's Huydonk. It just made me laugh every time.
I know. And the Germans are going, what's so funny about this?
It's funny.
So, anyway, Kareem Habib has announced, actually, I don't even think it's official yet, but it was rumor, and then now it was confirmed just this week that he's leaving BMW design, which begs the whole question. And Alex brought this up a couple of weeks ago. He goes, how long have we been now? 6 months that the Mini chief of design left, Anders Warming left Mini, and it's still nobody's been announced for replacement. And the head of the BMW i design division left last year, just before that. So now you have 3 heads of BMW car products who are gone.
Yeah.
And it's leaving the automotive world, including us and Mr. Bridger. I wish you were here to talk about it. Scratching our heads, going, "What the hell is going on in BMW design that's causing everybody to leave?" A, and B, what the hell?
and what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. What are they going to do about it? Because I think for Mini, they're a little safe because right now, as far as things being designed, there's nothing new coming out, and they have
nothing's new coming out for 7 years ish. No, wait, 4 years.
Couple. Yeah, there's going to be an LCI, but that's already in the works.
Right.
But you're right, DB. Yeah, they've got a little bit of time with Mini. I get that. BMW just came out with a new 5 Series. They've probably got a little bit of time too, but they've got more products down the line than Mini does that have different varying age cycles.
Correct.
And it's a bigger deal for BMW. So more to come on this. It's just kind of breaking news, and it's a little weird.
Yeah, we'll have to get Gabe on to see what he thinks.
The article that I read, and I think I posted for you guys, was that the article said, quote, "It makes BMW vulnerable."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'll post a link back to the story over at bimmerfile.com, which is a little bit more fanboy than most of you guys like, but I'll post it anyway.
Yeah, but it does apply to Mini because we are still without a chief of design for the Mini brand.
Craziness. Yeah, but I think that's it.
Yes.
I believe we are done. Chad, did you have anything else to add to this evening's frivolities?
No, I think we've covered it quite well.
Excellent. I would have to agree. That, of course, our friend Chad Miller of Detroit Tune, DetroitTune.com. If you happen to have missed the open house, it just happened last week, by all means, get yourself to the new shop. Go over there, check it out. When you go, buy yourself something nice, book an oil change, something, right? Your car needs some kind of a service anyway. You got that annoying check engine light is on again. Let Chad take a look at it and fix it for you, for crying out loud. Jeez. Or go over to DetroitTune.com and buy yourself something nice.
Chad, don't you love the people who I had a check engine light and I went to Harbor Freight and I just keep clearing the code.
I put the automatic in my car and I just keep clearing the code.
It's it's the same way, the internet, the phone calls, whatever. It's like, I got a check engine light. What is it?
Your car's going to blow up. Get here quick.
Stop driving your car. Well, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know what that is. It could be anything. Well, what do you think it is? It's stop driving your car. Just don't do it.
It could be serious. Just say
some
that.
People really think you're just an a-hole, and then everyone else is like, Oh, you're a funny guy. I got it. It's like, well, I don't know. Like, there's like 1,000 codes. It could be anything. Like, really, like, is it driving okay? Well, yeah. Okay, drive it here slowly. I'll read the code. Then we'll come up with a game plan. Like, it's just,
basically like calling you and going, Chad, I'm holding up a card. What color is it?
Yeah.
Like,
blue, duh. Fastest color in the world.
Anyway.
But yeah, we'd love to help you out. We've got a code reader in 2 different languages, Snap-on and Factory, and
and the Snap-on one's going to cost you twice as much.
They both cost equally the same amount, and
you know what?
they both work just equally.
But you know what's really odd
is a cool joke for all of our mechanic friends.
But
exactly.
You know what, though? From what I understand, Chad's Snap-on driver has the nicest truck in all of Michigan.
Well, actually, we just switched Snap-on drivers.
Really?
The last Snap-on truck you'd get on, you'd be like, "Oh my God, there's so many toys." And this one, he's like, "Why is your truck so empty?"
He's a new guy.
Yeah, he's a new guy. I guess. Yeah, been doing it for 20 years of it.
Yeah.
No, he's super cool. Like we can get everything we need. So we've got lots of opportunities at the shop. We book up fast, but we help you out the best we can.
And on the website, DetroitTune.com, Chad, I'm looking here. You sell like a full line of Craven Speed parts. You are also selling the Dynan mini tuning kit, right? That anybody can install on their F car.
People don't realize that all us mini vendors, we all talk the same. So I sell the same thing that Aaron sells and makes, and he sells the same things that I sell and make. So we're all talking back and forth, and we all know who you are.
So don't try and price shop us.
Boy,
we all have files on those.
That's creepy. That's really creepy.
Like the Seinfeld episode where she goes from doctor to doctor, and they all put it in her file.
We can't buy that book back. It's been in the bathroom.
Yes.
It's been flagged.
Anyway.
No, it's funny because all of the forums have a special secret forum for all the vendors.
Yes.
Everyone just doesn't know about that.
I know about it. I think I've been in it once. I don't know. Anyway, go over to DetroitTune.com, check it out. And, of course, if you're within, 4-hour drive of Chad shop, you're going to go have him do a lot of your work anyway. That, of course, Mr. Chad Miller, DetroitTune.com. Then I want to also remind you guys about motoringstripes.com. Todd will make you stripes for your car. Boom. And he'll ship them out to you. You install them. Boom. Not only that, the cool motoringstripes.com hack, if you're looking for the Sunroof Delete Kit, use the contact form. Send Todd an email. He'll shoot you a quote. Coming up, Todd, how are we coming on the new Countryman boot protector strip?
I'm sorry,
the Clubman, yeah. Do you have a hard time with that material still?
Here's the thing you should edit out of it because I should leave this in, really. I have now made a deal to sell everything I can make.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how or why or whatever.
Okay.
But until I get caught up with my major deal on this, is I don't want to put it on there and go, all right, I can't get it to you. So we will get caught up. It will get there, but we've been.
This sounds like this might be another contact form hack.
Just send me a message and I'll try and hook you up. But for now,
time to hire a minion.
Like Chad says, also it's hard to put a product online for sale that you can't provide because you just like everything is sold and you can't keep up with it. So I'd rather not put it up and go, oh, it's sold out. It's gonna get there, but it's still gonna. Right. It's so popular, and this is what sucks about it is I wish there was something I could do to go. No, we have an unlimited supply of this, but it's coming. I'm doing everything I can to work deals and make deals, and right here, made in America, people.
That's right. Make in America.
Don't tax me 35%, Donald Trump. It's made in America.
Easy there, Turbo. Hey, also, guys, if you are near Philly Mini Club members, Todd's already planning 2017 Vinyl Day. So check out the forum, check out the Philly Mini Facebook page and keep an eye on that for more information. And Todd will get you hooked up. If you're interested in getting that done, by all means, do it that way. And if you can't make it to Philly, well, then, heck, motoringstripes.com. Go over there, check it out. Blank is boring. Duh. That's it. Okay, easy. What else? I can shout out one more thing because you guys are diehards. You're still listening, right? We're gonna be done. you could go check out Ride Bikes Radio. That's that new show Brian Dallas and I have been doing. Episode number 20 coming up pretty soon. We talk about bicycles and beer for about 30 minutes every other week. It's a lot of fun if you're interested in bicycling, and not the crazy $10,000 carbon fiber pedal bicycles, but the actual going out and riding bikes. Come on over to Ride Bikes Radio. Give us a listen. I think you might enjoy it. Anyway, but we are done this week. I want you to check out the show notes, and there you're going to see a very fine image of a GP2 that was submitted by our man Paul. He posted that to our Facebook page, and because he posted it to the Facebook page, I'm using it as the show art. You want your mini to be featured on the White Roof Radio show art? You know what you do? You do an @reply to us on Twitter or Instagram, or you upload it to the Facebook page. Not a competition. If you do it, I'm going to use it for the show art. I probably missed a couple in the past, so it is kind of a competition because I might miss it. But anyway, do it anyway. Just tag us at White Roof Radio on Instagram or on Twitter, or upload it to the Facebook page, and it's gonna be show art eventually. Better pictures win too. Of course, don't take a picture with like your BlackBerry. Get us something that's kind of high res for me, will you? Awesome. Thank you very much. Because we don't like using stock photos or press photos for show art.
Who still has a BlackBerry?
You never know. The Canadians, they're weird.
They go to business like 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, they're still in business.
Yeah, I think they're still in business.
In fact, they're making the head units for CarPlay, dude.
Don't all the many executives have BlackBerries?
Oh, sweet.
Something like that. The U.S. government still uses BlackBerry. Somebody still uses BlackBerry.
Probably.
I don't know. Something like that. You can still post a Twitter on a BlackBerry. 40404. Anyway, that's it for this week, gang. As always, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any concerns, by all means, click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave us a note in the show notes. You can also email us, feedback@whiteroofradio.com. But until next week, gang, this is DB. I'm Todd.
Cheers.
See ya.